Santa Fe High School just outside of Houston, that school on lockdown. This according to the district. It might be tougher in other cities, like most other cities. Cop to feel, and the cops want him caught. A man dubbed the Glendale Groper making headlines today, the earliest opening day in decades for the Arizona Snow Bowl. The goal is to make it so parents like me, perhaps like you, can easily help your kids with their homework. I can't right now. They got that ladder up there very quickly, and we all just took a deep breath right there as we watched it unfold. What's his name?
His name's Pipsqueak. He's a baby American.
How ironic. So I grip him.
Right where my other hand is.
Okay.
And hold him underneath his leg.
Right, yes. Like this?
Yeah.
So now what happens? Tell me more about this crocodile, Pipsqueak. He was a political maverick and a military hero, but he was an authentic Arizonan through and through. Once he realized that DPS and MCSO were moving in, there was an undercover vehicle there ready to box him in. That is when he panicked and took off. Sometimes you feel like you want to throw on the gas mask, though, when it comes to allergies in the air. Can this filter all that pollen and ragweed? Here's what we have. I'm going to do this for you.
Okay, go
Watch
ahead.
This is going to be your cheat. North Stack, I-17, and the Loop 101. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupting finally, sending that ash and smoke nearly 30,000 feet into the air. In the ring of real life, really that number takes a hit because of late payments, no credit, stale credit. That means you're not using your credit correctly, but that overuse, that can also feel like a knockout punch. But hey, you're not down for the count. You know him, you love him, and it's the kind of puppy love. Get my drift? We're talking about Donny Osmond, the man, the legend. He is performing here. March means you are thinking about filling out those brackets. How about some money madness? You want to check that credit score, maybe that debt consolidation, but what about those lower rates or fixed interest rates? Which ones should advance to the next round of your finances? It can become easy now with a thing called green light. No, just don't hand over your debit card to your kids, but this isn't yours. It's theirs. So my son says to me the other day, Dad, you know what frustrates me? I said, what? He says, taxes. I go, huh? He said, yeah, I make $16,000 a year. I never got a degree. My wife, though, she did get a good education. She makes $40,000 a year, and every month we have to budget for things like our house, our food, and our cars. I said, hold on. But it's true. Designating a state dinosaur, pushing paleontology and inspiring people, not just any skeletons either, those taken out of the ground in the Sonoran Desert. This move was meant to do that. Back in college, I used to work for a bank, Bank One at the time, and my career in finance, of course, didn't go anywhere, but I do remember people complaining about the interest rates. They were so low for savings accounts. Of course, now they are a fraction of what they used to be, so not a lot of people feel like they can save their money and grow their money. If you could have a conversation with your future self about family finances, what would you say to him or her? Well, I'd say I'm headed home for the day, but I would also tell you. Well, when it comes to your commute, just how well do you know the Valley freeways? Could you name them all on a map? What about all those nicknames, too?
Of course, Dan. I'm an expert when it comes to the names of our freeways.
You know, we're going to put that statement to the test, too. But this morning, follow us in the ultimate Arizona driver's test. Remember back in those dusty days of yesteryear when the Phoenix freeway system was in its infancy? That wasn't really all that long ago.
The final mile of I-10 to be built across the country was actually built here in the downtown Phoenix area.
And there it is, the home stretch. Drivers started heading through the Deck Park Tunnel in 1990, a feature that is neither an actual tunnel nor beneath the Deck Park. So what's with some of these weird names here in the Valley? ADOT's Doug Nitzel is the go-to guy for all things freeways in Phoenix.
Loops like Loop 101, Loop 202, and even now Loop 303, things like the Broadway curve or the Durango curve, the term the stack, it obviously did catch on. The mini stack caught on.
So we got the stack, the mini stack. What's next? The short stack, as in a sticky day out on the short stack for you commuters. Come on, this food comedy works at other traffic nightmares across the country. Spaghetti Junction, the Mixing Bowl, the High Five, or the Mousetrap. Metro areas across the country make the most of the gridlock of the daily commute by coming up with clever labels for their freeways that oftentimes take them nowhere fast.
When it comes to a nickname for an interchange, it's just a matter of whether it's going to catch on.
Well, let's make some of those new slogans stick with a makeshift map I may or may not have drawn myself.
Probably like pasta.
The Pasta Parkway?
Yeah, Pasta Parkway, it'd have to be.
Russia, Hell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
A cluster.
I'm gonna hop on the cluster, honey, and I'll be home in 5 minutes.
It looks like a third grader's art drawing of something, some animal.
Ouch. Okay, how about a friendlier crowd?
I do have a name for the I-10 Loop 303 interchange, simply the Spindle.
Kenneth in Mesa. I never see DPS in the area of the safety corridor. Betsy in Phoenix. They never stop vehicles that are causing the dangers on the roads. Peter in Tempe. What we need in this state is more state troopers. Comment after comment sent to our Operation Safe Roads inbox complaining that speeders basically get away with making the Valley freeways more dangerous for everyone else. So we wanted to know by the numbers, is that true?
We're frustrated too.
Trooper Cameron Lee told me DPS pulls over more than 500,000 Arizona drivers every year, arresting more than 4,100 for DUI.
We just can't be everywhere at once, even though we'd like to be. And this is where we really call on the public and need their help.
Not even a third of DPS employees are actually out on patrol on the freeways, but those 600 troopers have to account for almost 7,000 miles of roadway and more than 7 million Arizonans. It is tough to keep up. If you look at the budgets over the last few fiscal years, you see some pretty consistent increases, but a lot of the funding goes to specific campaigns like the Border Strike Task Force, gang abatement, virtual training, not necessarily the ranks of troopers on the roadways. Trooper Lee wouldn't comment on the staffing levels for specific freeways, but told me the safety corridors will provide data by the end of the year, with the main focus on changing driver behavior.
Whether that's through enforcement, education campaigns, safety corridors, we're looking at everything that we can to help reduce serious injury and fatality collisions.
Reporting for Operation Safe Roads, I'm Dan Spindle, ABC 15, Arizona.